Okay, I think we're running. This is going to just be a crash course on how to use Amion. And I'm using Teams to record this, which I've noticed has a little bit of a lag. So if I'm narrating something and it's not on the screen, just wait a half second and it should show up. So hopefully the first thing that you're seeing right now is On Call. This program is what we use to get it all done. And I'm sure you guys have seen this already. So this is the first step, is to get this on your computer. To do that, you go to amion.com and you scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll find downloads. And you just click that. And then pull up just the desktop scheduler for Windows or Mac if you're using a Mac. And then you download it. Then when you open it, it won't show you this. It'll show you a different prompt. But what you'll want to type in is what we've got down here, admin SLUIM in all caps. And then you open that and it's saved to the cloud. So this is what we work from. Now, when you pull it up, you kind of are blasted with a lot of information. And so don't get overwhelmed here. It's actually more simple than it looks. So there's two primary windows that you guys are going to be working with. Well, actually three. There's the block schedule, which Rohan and I have done for the seniors and the interns, and that's just inputting their overall blocks, which you can see here. You shouldn't have to mess with this too much, but basically we have the blocks set aside by our time, so you can see the dates for all of them, and the number or the date in the parentheses is the split. And so most of these blocks are just single blocks when you're on floors, but when they're on outpatient and you do 2 weeks of 1, 2 weeks of the other, you're often doing a split. So for instance, Sarah Graber here is doing night float and sleep home. So it's really simple to fill in a block. So we'll use this empty one over here as an example. All you have to do is just type it in. And you can see in the smaller window here that's pulled up that we already have a lot of rotations already made. And so this is where it's going to pull from. So if you start typing, it'll automatically fill in. So for example, VA floors, and you'll see it's going to try to prime us in this white box here. You just hit enter and it'll fill in. Now, if you're doing a split block, you just type the first one that you want. So VA floors, no space, hit the backslash, and then type the other one. So say night float, and then just hit enter, and you'll see that it's split like this. There's more how you can add in their vacation and their holidays, but I don't think that's relevant for right now. I don't want to overwhelm too much. So that's the block schedule. Again, you won't have to mess with this too much. What you'll be working with more frequently is the clinic and the call schedules. So let's go to the call one first. So you'll go up here to view, schedule, and click call. And now this is the front page of Amion. When you type in SLUIM, this is what it's pulling from. And so on the left, we have all of the rotations that we do, SLU floors and all their teams, VA floors, MICU, night float, etc., and Jeopardy. You'll notice that clinics are not in here. So this is just for primary services and Jeopardy. Now, to change this is really particular. And so what you're going to want to do, for example, let's say that you called in Jeopardy for someone. So let's just say, for example, July 10th, which is today. Let's say that Bobby had to call out and you had to fill in for Jeopardy. So to make sure that the on-call page is accurate, all you have to do is find the grid that you're at. So say Bobby called out, click on it, and then just hit backspace or delete, and it'll empty. And then just you can try to type in the person that you want in this spot. So let's say that Brenna was filling in. Amion makes a little name code for them. So Brenna is BC. All you type is just BC, and it'll fill in automatically. There's one very important thing here, and that something that Peter had done was to create our Mario Kart system. And so we didn't fill in every single one of these blocks by hand. That would have taken forever. And I'm not going to go into the details of that, but for day-to-day practice, just make sure that this button up here, autofill call, is not selected. Because if autofill call is selected and you type in one name and hit enter, it's going to assume that you want to fill in that person for every spot in the Mario Kart rotation. If that's confusing, you'll accidentally do it and you'll know exactly what I mean. So whenever you're making individual changes, just make sure that this autofill call is not selected. So here it is selected, there's a check mark. Here it is unselected, no check mark. So let me just fill that in. Boom, that's it. Just going to pause for a second to make sure that my voice in the video catches up and that I'm not swinging past you guys. So that's going to be the biggest thing that you do here for particular rotations and stuff. All right, and then the other most common thing you'll be doing is the clinic, particularly for the VA. So say that someone calls out their continuity clinic or any other VA rotation, the VA people look at Amion for like their reimbursement. And so it's important that if someone is not in clinic at the VA that we remove it from the schedule, otherwise they get mad at us. So this gets a little bit tricky because you can see that there's like a lot of information here. But essentially what we've done is, use the clinic dates that are available and just filled it in. And you can see that for each block, there's a morning and an afternoon. And I'm going to pause again so my video can catch up. But here at Lanerica, she's at VA Cards Clinic in the morning and then nothing in the afternoon. So again, it's all you have to do is find the particular row and column that you're looking for and just type it in. So for example here, VA Cards Clinic. Can't type. And it'll pop it in. It's exactly like the block scheduling where it's going to try to input something that's already been made, a clinic that's already been made. If you were to make a typo, like if I go in here and I do VA space CRDS, like I misspell cards and hit enter and I'm not paying attention, you'll notice here that this is what it's going to try to pull in. It's going to think that I'm making a new rotation. So just be careful that you've actually put in the correct thing here, because if you mistype it, it'll think that's a new clinic and it'll make like a little block here. So if you look in the white master document here, you can see all of the little typos that I've made. I just haven't bothered to go through and delete them all. So you'll see, just make sure that you're typing in the correct thing. Otherwise it's going to get confused. Like all of these VA ALM, VN, VP, these are all just typos and I haven't gone through and deleted them yet. So just be aware of that. That's really the gist of it, is that's how you'll make like these minor changes left, here and there. Amion's kind of unforgiving. So if you make a lot of mistakes, it can get kind of hairy. So, all right, so we've made a bunch of changes, right? And we want to save our work. It's really simple. You just click up here, File, and then Save, and it'll pull up this save window. And I'm going to pause just so the video can catch up. And I wouldn't really worry now about publishing the call through and all of this stuff because we've already released the whole year. Before we didn't want the seniors to know when they were on call because they're giving a lot of schedule requests. So all you have to do is once you've made changes, File, save to Amion, and your file is updated. And then that's it, you're good to go. You've hit done and then you exit and you're good to go. Now, one thing I would recommend is that if you're making a lot of changes, like you're going to mess with someone over the course of several weeks, make a lot of saves as you go, because I have been saved many times by realizing like halfway through I made a bunch of mistakes. I just hit escape and quit, and it'll ask, do you want to save changes? And I'll say no. And then you can just boot it right back up and you'll be good to go. That's kind of the gist of it. Anytime I make a change, like any change at all, I'll go back in to Amion and double check to make sure that everything looks good because, like I said, it's pretty finicky. It's not the best program. But yeah, that's it. I think this is enough information to like get by for the day-to-day stuff. Only other thing to mention is that only one person can be in it at a time. So if you boot it up and it says it's been checked out to someone else, just exit out, text that person and see if they're still in. Every once in a while, I forget to close out of the program and close my laptop, so I might still be logged in, but I'm not working on it. So if you see that, just shoot me a text or Rohan a text and make sure that we're in it. And that's it. That's really the gist of it. There's a little bit more nuance, like there's a little bit more stuff that you can do in there, but I haven't bothered to learn it yet because I've done enough to get by. And that's it. That's all I have to share with you today. So just let me know if you have any questions, okay? Thanks, guys.